Good morning, folks. A week, maybe two ago, I don't know, I was looking for some green pine cones, and these ones here in our yard, Cindy planted these a long time back now, but I looked them over and they didn't have any pine cones either. But looky here, they do. Now, they're kind of hard to reach. This is a pretty tall tree, but yeah, look at here. That one stands out pretty good. Can't believe how big they are. I mean, there was nothing here not that long ago, and now these things are probably 2 inches long. They apparently grow very fast. Huh, that's kind of strange. There doesn't seem to be any on this side. They're all on the east side, it would be. That's kind of interesting. I wonder if it's just because of the sunlight. See, this one here, it's getting a whole bunch of them too. But they're way up there in the sky, hard to reach. So, I do have, somewhere around, I have a kind of a shovel handle with a little hooked blade on it that I use for cutting weeds and things on the fairgrounds. I'll have to find that anyway so I can cut weeds on the fairgrounds. But it would probably work pretty good for reaching up and grabbing those pine cones and clipping them off. So anyway, I think before I get started on the weeds this morning, I'm gonna run on up the hill here and look at this duck. Anyway, run up the hill here and see if that other tree that I was looking at, if those became pine cones too, or just what those were. They look like pine cones to me. Look at this duck here. She's taken over my woodshed. She's sitting on a nest. So it's gonna make, and he's got some feed for her here, some little cracked corn. It's gonna make filling up my woodshed a little bit hard. Don't really want to disturb her. I mean, the baby ducks are kind of fun, and those muscovies, they're kind of expensive to buy them. So if she'll hatch us out some, that's all the better. I can wait on the firewood. I'm not really ready for that just yet anyway. I'd like to get started on it, but there hasn't been any time at all. Like I said, this fairgrounds job, I really enjoy it, but it is very busy. Summer months, there is no time for much of anything else. And then, of course, winter time, there isn't a lot going on. All I have to really do is keep an eye on the place then and plow a little snow now and then. So it's a pretty good trade-off, but man, I'll tell you, summertime, it is busy. Beautiful day. I didn't have so dang much to do. I'd just go for a drive somewhere, but it ain't gonna happen just yet. Doggone weeds, they always win. I mean, you try like crazy to keep up with them, and it's awful hard to do. Okay, so this one is a fir tree. Now that I'm learning a little bit about some of these things, like I said, to me, they've all been pine trees, but when I cut firewood and stuff, I just look for the lodgepole, and that's easy enough to spot. But anyway, those purple things, they are pine cones. It's turning into a pine cone. Still got these weird little frilly things on them. There's a whole bunch of them here. So these ones I can reach easy. Get some of these, and I'll get some of those from Yeah, here's a couple that are still kind of purple. Get some of those out of the yard and get some of these, and see about some of that syrup or jam or whatever they're calling it. From what I've been able to figure out, it's more of a syrup than it is anything else. Oh, and somebody spotted this camper thing. I got this at a junk sale the other day. The fella had died, and they had a big auction sale. And whatever didn't sell, they said it was free. This fit. Nobody wanted it because the rear window is missing. I don't know how hard it would be to replace that. I'm not sure how these go. Okay, it's got a screw there. Looks like it's just been glued on. I could put other hinges on there and put a piece of plywood or the chunk of plexiglass in it or something like that. And I liked it because it has these side doors, side windows, so you can still kind of get this stuff in here. I got a lot of junk in here that needs to come out, but one thing I don't like, with the cab on here, there's not enough airflow, so everything is blowing in the back and it's getting covered in dust. But I don't know. I don't really want it on here for the summer anyway. I'll probably end up taking it off. It was just that I needed to get it home, and that was the easiest way to do it, is to go ahead and strap it down, tie it down. But mainly I just wanted to keep the snow out in the wintertime. Snow and rain, keep things dry. Right now I don't need it on there. In fact, it'd be better if it wasn't. I still need to go get firewood and all that stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna grab me a bucket and get some of these pine cones. Well, it's sure a lot easier than picking berries, a lot quicker. Got quite a few, half a bucket or so, in just that little bit of time. That ought to be enough to give it a try anyway. I'm really surprised how fast those things grow. I mean, they kind of, last time I was up here and they looked a little bit purple, they looked like pine cones, but I wasn't sure. They didn't really look a lot like a pine cone, you know. So now I know what to look for. That's, like I say, that's a fir tree. Reading up on this says the fir will work, or pine, or really about any of these evergreens, it looks like. That one in our yard, I think Cindy says it's a Norway pine or something like that. She bought them a long time ago, years and years ago, and planted them when they were about a foot tall. They're probably, I don't know, 25 feet tall now, 30 feet. they did really well there. Anyhow, go home and give this stuff a try. So what I'm doing here, it's stalling. I gotta admit, I gotta go back to work here, chopping weeds and all that kind of not so fun stuff that has to be done. But I'm using this road as an excuse. Need a good spot to turn around. I've passed a couple actually, but there's a good spot right up here. I'll have to bite the bullet and turn around and go back to work. Ah, that's a 4-letter word. Oh well, gotta make some money, I guess. That's one of the things that I do like about this job. I can set my own hours and kind of work at my own pace as long as everything gets done. The bosses aren't here generally, but you know, that kind of takes a lot too. You have to be able to actually go to work. You know, I mean, it's really easy to do something else, but you can't let yourself do that. You gotta, it's kind of like working for yourself, even though I'm not. You have to be able to knuckle down and go to work, and sometimes it's hard on a pretty day like this, and this is pretty much a 7-day-a-week job. And I mean, there's always something to do, whether it's an all-day one or just part of a day, but it never ends. I mean, if I ever get caught up, I'm not caught up. The fence is falling down, and that alone would take me a week if I did it just that alone, without anything else in the way. And you know, then there's these things of my own that I'd like to get done, my snow rat and the, you know, a lot of other things. But there just isn't time. It's pretty easy to throw up your hands in disgust and frustration and do something else, but you can't do that. You gotta work. Dang it. If it wasn't for money, we'd all have a better life, wouldn't we? That's a good turnaround. Anyway, thanks for watching, folks, and see you tomorrow. Maybe if I can get enough done today. Today is Saturday. Actually, they're roping tomorrow, so that won't really work either. I'll have to stick around anyway. I don't remember when they're roping. I think not until evening, so maybe I can do something in the morning. Anyway, time will tell. Like I say, I got tons to do, and I'm gonna be gone for a couple of days, unfortunately, so things need to get done. See you tomorrow, folks. Thanks for watching. Bye.